it's Uncle Mark in the mothership. 3-string cigar box guitar. Cigar box guitar. This is a lesson on how to play Promised Land. It's a Chuck Berry tune. Song's in A, that's the key. So I'm going to go through a lyric of this, and then we'll break down how easy this song really is. And so here we go. Left my home in Norfolk, Virginia, California on my mind. Straddled that Greyhound and rode it fast, rolling on across Caroline. Stopped in Charlotte, bypass a Rockingham, never was a minute late. 90 miles out of Atlanta by sundown, rolled across Georgia State. Ran into some trouble, turned into the struggle all the way across Alabama. The plan broke down, left us all stranded in downtown Birmingham. That is the whole song. Those are all the nuts and bolts of how I play it. It's really quite simple. Couple things you have to remember is that I've got a 3-string guitar here, so it's a G, D, G, or a 42, 24, or 42, 34, 24. Okay, those are the gauges of the strings. They're wound. It doesn't really matter if you use wound or unwound strings. It's all up to you, and the gauges change because it's all up to you. So open here at the 0th fret is a G, G sharp A. It's an important chord, and what I do is I think that dot and go 1 lower, or I think 2 up from the 0th fret and find A. B flat B, C, C sharp D. Another very important chord in this song. So just remember it's on that 3rd dot. D sharp E, another important chord in this song. Those are the 3 chords, the 1, 4, 5 chords. 1 being A, 4 being D, E is the 5 chord. So we're at E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A again. A is up here again. Just like it was below that dot there and above the 0th fret, it's here below that dot and above the 12th fret. Okay, so it's got a rock and roll rhythm to it. And if you haven't seen my lesson on rock and roll rhythm, or you haven't seen any other lessons, you're kind of strumming this way. Right, so get used to that. Just mute your strings lightly with your hand and get used to that kind of strum, because that's all you're doing is down, up, down, up, down, up. Now, when I strum, I don't always give the same value as strings. When I come down, I tend to favor these two. When I come up, I tend to favor these two. If I get lucky and hit the other one, great. I got lucky. I don't worry about it. It's something you don't have to worry about. Do your best, but get consistent. So if you have to practice this while you're watching football or basketball or whatever sports you like, get consistent with that. The next thing is to grab the A. That's it. Okay? So what I'm doing is this D note in this A chord. So this E, I'm sorry. A, E, A. That is the chord. I'm going to put my finger here on this F sharp. That's an F sharp. If you came up from the 0th fret, it would be D, D sharp, E, F, F sharp. So what I'm doing is da-na, 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 da-na. And that's the whole rhythm to this. You're also going to do it in D. You're going to do it in E. This is a really good thing to practice. You should be practicing this a lot. This is, if you want to play rock and roll or rock music of any kind, even metal, you have to be able to get this type of rhythm, and it plays into all other rhythms you're going to work with. So here we are, a little slower. So I'm just on that downstroke. Down, down, down. If you do it this way, that's fine too. Whatever you like to do, it's your interpretation. If you use your, I put my slide here on my pinky. If you put it here, you can use your pinky. Right? It depends on where you put your slide, where you like it. I used to be a third finger guy, ring finger guy. Now I am a pinky guy. You go back and forth in your life maybe and decide and change. You may do a Gary Rosington, Billy Gibbons, Sonny Landreth sometimes does this. On your second finger just to free up the other three. Depends on what you want to do in your style of playing. That is totally up to you. There's nothing wrong with it. So this song goes A, D, E. The spacing between the D and the E are real close in the rhythm. So it does a left my home in Norfolk, Virginia. Then it goes to E real fast and holds on E for a while. A. D. There's also another E that you can play, and it's putting your first finger here on this D string, on the E note. So it's the second fret of the D string, and then the fourth fret of the G and the fourth fret of the G. That's an E chord as well, so take a look at that. That's an E chord, or this way. Sometimes when I'm playing live, I use this shape because I'm here. Depends on what I want to do. It just depends on how I feel and if the timing is right. Using your slide, we know that the A works. And you can see where I'm at here. I'm on the fret. I also like using my first two strings here. And go back and forth. So practice this back and forth thing. It's really good to practice this back and forth. It also works with these two. This back and forth, so you're going down on the D string and pulling on the G. Now go up to the D. Back up to the A. You can see where I'm on the A right there. G, G sharp, A. That's that fret. So that's kind of how I fool around with this. I'm on A. I'm going to go up to D with my slide. E. And if you notice, I work into it. So here, then I'm going to come back to G, and I'm going to come up to that note. So map out where you're going to go with your slide prior to playing it. You're going to go. So map out where you're going to go with your slide and fool around with it, you know. You can also go from E back down. that. There's a little techniques, but map out where you want to go with your slide. A lot of people have trouble with their slide playing, coming across the frets, hitting them. It's very delicate. You're very delicate. Just delicate. Delicate, just like you would hit a harmonic. Okay? Wiggling your hand a little bit, so I take my thumb like this and I wiggle my hand. You can see my whole arm move, but that's what I'm doing, is wiggling my hand. I'm not trying to move it back and forth. That's how I create my tones when I'm playing slide. Everyone is different. There's nothing wrong with being different. Find where you're good and work that, and keep working what you're good at, and you will fall into your road. This is just a door and you kind of got to unlock it, but you'll fall into your style of playing, and at first you won't think it's your style, and then all of a sudden you're playing the same way all the time. That's what your style is. The same type, the way you play, the way you approach looking at things, the way you hit this E instead of this one. Those things come into play when you start talking about your style. So I don't think you have one. You do. It just hasn't expressed itself yet because of your playing. Something else I do with this song that's really bad is when I was 13, I used to sing it and sing it all the time in the shower. And instead of in the last verse, Chuck wrote, what is the part? The 24-10-09. So I always heard it as 24-0-10-09, not Norfolk 10-09. So I always make that mistake lyrically, and so I hope it's not too glaring when you see me play it live. But I always make that mistake. I just did it for so long, and then when I finally realized it was just ingrained in my memory. So sometimes song lyrics escape me. So if you want, we'll go through a lyric of this, and we'll just fool around with it. We'll start on the second lyric, and we'll just go second lyric to the end. Here we go. Went out and bought me a through train ticket right across Mississippi Plain. I was on that midnight flyer out of Birmingham, smoking the New Orleans. Somebody help me get out of Louisiana, help me get to Houston town. People there care a thing about me, they don't let the poor boy down. Sure as your boy, they bought me a silk suit with luggage in my hand. And I woke up high over Albuquerque on the jet, the promised land slide parts. The transition from slide to the rock and roll rhythm is a hard one. You're up here. You want to be able to get to that point really fast. So work on that. Have fun. This is one of these little glass things I made just to use as a reference. You can kind of see through it. So anyway, this is Uncle Mark in the mothership. And thank you so much for everything you do for me. Happy New Year. We're going into 2019 with a bang. I'm going to be doing an anniversary episode for 2019, and then we've got a whole bunch of new things going to happen. So thank you so much. Down below, I do have a tip jar. It's a paypal.me/Uncle Mark Tips. It's pretty easy and pretty self-explanatory how to figure that out. Thank you so much for all you donators. Thank you for sharing on social media. Everything you do for me, really appreciate it. Thanks again, and we'll see you in the new year.